Hello everyone, we got to the finale in the series about shuckling, and today I'd like to finish this series with a very interesting question, and that is, what is the proper way to shuckle?
Down, up, down, side.
If indeed there's such importance given to it, then which is the proper way? Front, back, like this, side to side? Which way should we do it? Well, we have a testimony of the Maharil. In the Minhagei Maharil, that documents everything the Maharil did, it says, gufo me'acharav lefanav, namely, the normal shuckle back and forth. Indeed, the Eliyahu Rabbah comes along and says that in the Gilyon on the Shulchan Aruch, I don't know who he's referring to, Ra'iti tnu'a meshubeshet miktzat b'nei ha'adam. A few people are doing it wrong. V'hi tnu'a sivuvit al kotev shetach haguf natuna bet merkazei harosh v'haraglayim mekoma skufa v'haya panav el yamin ve'el hashmol. Some people don't shuckle front, back, but rather to side, says the Eliyahu Rabbah, hachush me'id alav, my gut feeling testifies, shuhu derech ga'ava, this is haughtiness. Aval hatnu'a yeshara b'einai, ulakuf ka'agmon rosho, ulehitno'anea letzad hapnim. But rather you should go front, back, very much, he says, like the atzei hayar mipenei haruach, like trees move in the wind, they usually move front and back. Beautiful analogy, saying we're in the hands of God, we're speaking to God, and the only way we're going to move is like the trees move by God when God makes the wind. Well, he's not alone. The Pri Megadim says that in the Eliyahu Rabbah that we just quoted, I see what he says, and therefore he ends by saying, Ein la'asot kein, do not go side to side, go only front and back. The Mishnah Berurah goes ahead and quotes this as well in the name of Eliyahu Zuta. So it seems pretty clear based on these poskim that the proper way to shuckle is front and back. There is absolutely no importance to go from side to side, and quite the contrary, according to the Eliyahu Rabbah, it's derech ka'ava, it's haughtiness. Based on Rabbi Schwab's famous perush that we already quoted, it makes sense. He says it basically means near and far. We feel very near to God, and yet we feel very far from God. So front and back makes sense. Side to side makes no sense at all. It doesn't have any meaning to it. If we were to end here, I'd have a big problem. Because recently there was a video that was published on YouTube that shows Rav Moshe Feinstein davening. And please, look for yourselves the way Rav Moshe Feinstein davened. So, as you could see, Rav Moshe Feinstein moved his head from side to side. And indeed, in the Ma'avar Yabok, we're talking about Rav Aharon Berchia from Italy, Modena specifically. His year is 1549 to 1639. B'sha'at hatfilah, tov lena'aneh atzmo, derech yamin usmol, lerameis hitavarut hakisei. Indeed, the proper way to shuckle is left to right, not front and back. In the Petach HaDevir, written on the Shulchan Aruch, was written by Rav Chaim Binyamin Pontrimuli, as you can hear from his name, Turkey, Izmir. He writes that, based on the Zohar we already quoted, that the Jewish soul is like a candle, and a candle never stays straight. Then there is no importance front, back, side to side. The candle moves in all directions. And therefore, he says, Shederech ani anua lechan ulechan lechol sitrin. This way, that way, in all different ways. Well, I believe that Rav Moshe Feinstein doing so was probably not based on these Kabbalah Svarim, but rather based on a simple Yerushalmi. The Talmud Yerushalmi in Meseches Brachos, Perek Daled, subdivision Gimel asks, why do we daven Shmoneh Esrei? Why 18 and not 19? Why is it that our sages went ahead and said 18? Says the Yerushalmi, Amar Rabbi Simon, one of the suggestions is, Keneged Yud Chet Chuliyot Shebashidra. It's for the 18 parts of your spine. Shebeshah she'adam omed u'mitpalel, tzarich lasuach bechkulan. When you daven, every part of your being should move. Matam, why? Kol atzmotai tomana Hashem yichamocha. All my bones should say, God, who is like you. Explains the Pnei Yehoshua, Rav Yehoshua Falek, 1680 to 1756. He was born in Krakow. Very hard life. His whole house, unfortunately, fell on his entire family and killed them. He was the only one that was saved. He ultimately became a Rav in various communities, but because he sided with Rav Yaakov Emden against Rav Yonatan Eibeshitz, he lost his job and eventually passed away, as I mentioned, in 1756. The Pnei Yehoshua, one of the most important Mefarshim on the Gemara, writes, in general, all parts of our being should be involved in a mitzvah. However, if we look at mitzvahs, most of our mitzvahs do not involve every part of our body. It involves with our feet we walk the shul, with our hands we shake a lulav, we light the Hanukkah candles or the Shabbos candles. It helps us eat the matzah because we hold it in our hands. So ultimately, most of our body is not being involved in mitzvot. When we see a rainbow, we make a bracha. When we hear certain things, we do this, that, or the other thing. And of course, our mouth davens. But most of our body is not involved in mitzvos. Mashen came be'ivarei atzamot shebat shira, shehem inyanim gashmiyim biyoter, mibikol ha'evarim, v'lo nikar bahem shum asiyat mitzvah. And therefore, says the Pnei Yehoshua, Hutzrechu, our sages had to letaken kenegdam yudchet brachot, kedei sheyeh adam niskar bechol ha'et atfilah lihitpalel bechol kocho ulitnohanea, kedei lekayem hamikvah shekatuv kol atzmotai tomarna. 18, to remind you, your whole body should be involved in davening. Davening is talking directly to God, and therefore your entire being should be involved. From this perspective, what's the difference? If you go this way or that way, right to left, your whole body should be involved. If your whole body should be involved, whether you move front and back or side to side, your whole body is involved. And therefore, I believe that if, and I say if, it helps you for kavanah, it really makes no difference if you go this way or that way. Yes, there are poskim that say front and back only, but there are others that say differently. And from this perspective, let's quote the Pri Megadim. V'hakol lefi ma shehu adam, im mechaven etev betnuah yitnoanea. Know yourself. If you move back and forth, side to side, do it. V'him lav ya'amod kach, and if not, stand straight. Ubilvad sheyichaven libo, as long as it helps for your kavanah.
Bricha